Hey everybody, welcome to Intentional Discharge episode 2. We are going to chat with Noah Alkinburgh from Wise Men Company. We're going to cover a couple things like SHOT Show, Sig Sauer canceling their SHOT Show booth. We're going to talk about guns.com, which is kind of topical right now with the vaccine mandate that they just put out. But more importantly, we're just going to get to know Noah because he's a great dude. And if you guys don't follow Noah Alkinburgh, we'll put his Instagram up on the screen. Hey everybody, welcome to Intentional Discharge. I'm Whiskey Savage. Welcome to the show. Pull up a glass, pull up a chair, fuck me. Hey guys, welcome to Intentional Discharge. I'm the Whiskey Savage. If this is your first time watching Intentional Discharge, this all fucking sucks. This is fucking terrible. I don't know how to open this fucking show, so I'm just gonna say fuck it. Welcome to Intentional Discharge. I'm Whiskey Savage. Fucking roll the shit. Alright guys, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Noah Alkinburgh from Wise Men Company. He's going to join us here shortly. Noah, are you there?
I am here.
All right, man.
I'm glad we have that live studio audience.
It is. It's a live studio audience. Okay, so we're going to talk about a couple things today. We're going to talk about guns.com and the vaccine mandate that they issued to all of their employees, including the remote employees. Correct. Which I think is hysterically funny, and we'll maybe get a little political on that. We're gonna talk about SHOT Show, and is it the end of the big show era? And then I want to talk about a little bit of some of the new products you guys are coming out. Maybe you'll give us an exclusive on something that you got coming new. So
yeah,
let's just run into guns.com. I guess tell us what you know about it, maybe how you know it, and Let's start there.
Sure. So, for those of you who don't know, Ben and I did some freelance work for guns.com a while ago. And when we first started, things were pretty good. We worked for them for, I think, a little over a year. Enjoyed it. Met some great people through that. Made some great connections. As time went on, some things with ownership and management changed, and we began to feel something was just sort of off with it. And so we decided at that time to step back and step away from them. We didn't have any hard evidence of anything going on that was there or whatever, but we did have a feeling that something wasn't quite right. Recently it came to light. I know there was a YouTube video from some people that the senior management owners, CEO, I'm not sure exactly what his title is, that the company itself had mandated the vaccines, as well as that they were donating to President Biden's campaign, things along those lines. And so without going into specific details, I still have some friends that work at the company and reached out to them so that I could verify firsthand that this was true. And unfortunately, it is. And frankly, it made me angry for my friend who is looking to now probably leave, get a new job, and made me angry because it came to light in our conversation that as a company, as the leadership of the company is not gun friendly. They are essentially recognized that they can make money in the firearms industry and are taking advantage of people who believe that the Second Amendment is a fundamental right and think that we are idiots, essentially. And for me, I already had my suspicions about the company, but this angered me quite a bit, and I don't really know what else to say other than
I think you've said a lot.
Like it's just They are
Well,
not a. They are. It makes me upset that they own Guns.com, just because like they are not a gun-friendly company.
yeah. So a couple things. So they have co-CEOs, and they released a statement from their co-CEOs, basically saying that there will be a vaccine mandate for all employees, including remote employees. They gave a timeline on when that needed to happen.
Yeah, sometime in November, I believe, is when they were
Is
is
that
when
what,
it was going to go into effect.
and the ramifications of not getting the vaccine were going to be termination, correct?
Correct. That is my understanding.
And so, just in fairness, I guess, to Guns.com, so that we're not just sitting here bashing them, I have heard that they rescinded this. I don't know if that's true. I don't
That
know what
I
you know.
have that I have not had a chance to verify. And to be honest with you, I hadn't even heard that. Even if that's the case, I again, what I know from behind the scenes, like it's totally a saving face
Right.
type move. It's not genuine. Like they have no interest
Yeah,
in
I would
in
agree with you. I would agree.
what.
I do also want to say that we've met some amazing people at Guns.com. They actually sponsored the first Texas Range Day. The ladies who came out representing Guns,
Jackie was
and Abby.
Jackie and Abby. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
wonderful. To this day, I think they're great people, and it's unfortunate that they're working for an organization that.
Well,
Um,
Jackie's actually moved on.
no, she
She
doesn't work there
is,
anymore.
yeah, she's at Pew Pew Daily.
Oh, really?
She's doing some amazing work. She's a phenomenal 2A advocate, especially in the like journalism from and with the woman's perspective. Her journalism is top notch. She's doing a great job over there at Pew Pew Daily. So, yeah, if
That's
you
good to
haven't,
hear.
yeah,
Nonetheless, Guns.com has some amazing folks that work there. We've met some amazing people. It's unfortunate that they're owned and run by co-CEOs um, who quite frankly, are, if you look at like Hollywood, right? There are so many guys in Hollywood who are making money off of firearms, the
yeah,
glorification of it. Look at
action films.
all the action films, Born Identity, whatever. Look at Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All these guys, Matt Damon, who absolutely have no interest and don't believe in the Second Amendment, don't believe in your right to own a firearm, but they'll go out there and they'll make a movie and take your $200 million like that.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Without even a second thought of
Yeah.
it, and their fundamental belief system does not align with ours. And even if, like, understand, like, I don't have an issue with anyone who wants to get the vaccination. Like,
I don't either.
I'm, I just want to make sure that people understand. Like, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Like, I believe that vaccines are effective. I just don't think in any situation that, especially at this early stage of the vaccine, that anybody should be forced to do it. And I absolutely don't think that that it's okay to think that people who own guns are rubes, because that's essentially from behind closed doors the understanding that I have, that the co-CEOs believe that people in the firearms industry are just rubes. They don't know how to run businesses, and they're foolish.
Yeah, and I'll echo that. I've spent 20 years in the medical industry. To this day, I still work in the medical industry. I absolutely do not care if you decide you want to get this vaccine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because at the end of the day, I think you can make your own choices. This is still sort of America, best I can tell, I think. And if you want to go get a vaccine for whatever, in my opinion, you should be able to go do that. Quite frankly, I'm probably more libertarian than I am just about anything else. I think you should legalize everything, quite frankly. Not because I believe that people should be able to go out and buy legal meth, but I don't care. I don't think that the government should be able to tell you that you can't.
Exactly.
Period.
I mean,
I personally will not go out and do meth. That's just me. But here's the other thing.
We should be adults.
Absolutely,
right?
but as a cat,
be able to be an adult and
100%,
a grown-up decision for ourselves and our family.
100%. But as a capitalist, if you do want to go out and do meth, all that's going to do is allow me to get better jobs, because it's just sort of Darwinism. It's going to weed out all these people who just want to sit around and meth out. They're not going to get the good jobs. They're not going. So I'm fine. I don't care about any of that. Abortion, I don't agree with it. I just don't think the government should be able to tell you what you want to do. If you want to go kill babies, whatever. I mean, that's your problem. That's not my problem. And I mean that sort of in jest. I don't think you should be able to go kill babies. I just mean it. If you want to go have an abortion, whatever. It's just not my place or the government's place to tell you what to do. It's not the government's place to tell you that you should have a vaccine. It's not my employer's place to tell me that. So, guns.com, I guess, we're not going to stop talking about it. And my opinion is, look, we're gonna for all 7 people who are watching this right now, we're going to ask that your CEO step down. I'm just going to say it. I think that you guys should step down. I think you're a joke. I think that it's an embarrassment to the 2A community, and I think all the folks at guns.com, all the good people who work at guns.com, should do exactly what Southwest Airlines is doing and walk out.
Or
don't go work
fired.
for this guy.
Like let him fire you.
Let him fire you, 100%. And go follow Jail Sucks. He's my attorney, and call him and have him file a class action lawsuit for you. His name's Eric Hill. He's wonderful, and he'll do it. But I really genuinely think that all those folks at guns.com should absolutely, request, mandate, whatever, that those CEOs step down. It's an embarrassment to the community.
Well, I think the customers should. I think that anybody and they should. I'm not a cancel. I don't believe in cancel culture, but
I don't either.
Believe in capitalism, in the fact that your money talks.
It's called vote with your dollars, right?
Correct. So I'm not I'm just saying, I'm not telling you don't buy from them. I'm saying make an adult, grown-up decision. Understand that the money that you're putting into that company is not doing anything to benefit you other than that immediate purchase.
Right. And there's other places, by the way. There's other places you can make those purchases.
When they went away from being a mostly journalism company, where they were interested in the firearms industry, not in selling guns. When they made that switch, that's when things really.
Ooh, let me give you a good. I wrote one article for guns.com. This is a true story. I wrote one article for guns.com. I'm sure it's still up somewhere, and it was top 5 concealed carry firearms that I would suggest. So this is the one article I wrote for them, and I went through a couple that I really liked, but I also wanted to add some that I didn't care for. Love the Glock 19, P320, whatever. The M&P Shield was one of the ones I wanted to cover because it's an extremely popular subcompact carry firearm.
Sure.
I think it sucks. I really just don't care for it. And by the way, I also I interviewed 2 guys for this. One of them was True Exodus, Barrett.
Yeah.
And the other one was Boone, DB Boone. If you know David Boone from 13 Hours, wonderful guy, a wonderful training program and company that he has down there in Florida. And I interviewed Barrett, and I think Barrett's quote was, I have to look it up, but I think his quote was, "It's the worst firearm ever, period, ever," or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Right?
Yeah.
So I turned this in, and when they actually published it, they changed his quote to, "It's not my favorite."
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can't change a quote. Like, you should have just taken the quotes out. Right? No, they changed his quote to, "It's not my favorite." Or something like that, and I said, guys, why? How could we even do this? How could you change the quote?
How can we sell this gun?
That was the answer. That was the answer, is that they wanted to sell it, and if they said it's the worst thing in the world, they wouldn't be able to sell any of them, so they took it out. So anyway, that's just my guns.com story, because it's It's just indicative of the motives behind that organization.
Absolutely.
They're just there to sell you something, and they don't even care what you buy. Period.
That's exactly correct.
All right, let's transition to another hot topic, and that is SHOT Show. So SHOT Show's coming up in January. I have actually walked the floor with Noah at like 3 consecutive large conventions. The NRA show, SHOT Show. You know, Noah's my convention buddy. Here's a great. This year, I had planned to purchase one of those monkey backpacks with a leash on it, and make Noah walk around like my little kid on a leash, just because I think that'd be funny. Because Noah knows everybody, and I'll be walking and I'll be talking over here, and I'll be like, "Hey, man, check this out."
Let's be honest.
Where the fuck did you go?
It's not because I'm talking to people. It's because I'm so short
No.
that I get lost in the crowd.
That's not true. Noah knows everybody. Noah knows everybody. So, but what I want to talk about is big news comes out. SIG pulls out of SHOT Show 22.
Yep.
I think their booth. I think their all-in purchase or their all-in spend on SHOT Show is probably between $4 and $6 million. Did they they made a donation or something of $500,000?
So again, the press release that as I read it, they donated to the NSSF $500,000. I think that their total spend. I don't know that it's that great, because one of the other reasons that they mentioned in the press release for not going in 2022 was, well, they listed several reasons, but one of the reasons was the SHOT Show completely changed their venue layout.
It's now 2 buildings.
Right, and this was supposed to happen in 2021, and
which they canceled altogether.
Correct. And so SIG is going to, in order for their booth, which, if any of you have ever been or haven't been to this, like, the booths that these big companies put together are like the size of a city block. They are humongous. And so they were going to have to completely redesign their booth because of the new venue space, and it was going to be a $1 million spend for them to redo the booth. And so fiscally, they were like, look, we don't know how many people are actually going to show up to this show, so it's not fiscally responsible for us to spend $1 million on this new booth and then find out like it's canceled again, or only half of the attendance comes, or
by the way, I'm going no matter what. So I purchased my
Vegas. Vegas decides like only half of the like who knows what's going to happen. And
so
they also cited health reasons for their employees, because they send, again, understand, like for SIG, they said that they send 140 employees. Like, that's a big chunk of people. Like,
that's a lot of people.
According to the government, they all have to be vaccinated.
That would surprise me if there's 140 people there. I've been to the SIG booth. I've never seen, 20, 30 people. Dude, sending 20 or 30 people to a convention is a lot of people. Sending 100 plus?
Well,
I don't think I've ever heard that. Okay, so tell me, is this the end of the big show era?
That's what I'm wondering is, we've had...
Well, you can't wonder. I'm asking you a question.
I think it is. I think that companies have seen that they don't need to have these shows to be profitable and successful. And I think that they're going to spend those marketing dollars in more regional and localized things like Texas Range Day, Ohio Range Day, the Average Dude's Day, or whatever. I know I'm mispronouncing that, and I apologize, because I know
Average Joe.
Average Joe's Range Day.
Average Dude, that's a spinoff. That's the generic spinoff.
I think that's Brandon's thing, right?
Yeah.
I think the lines between, like, with SHOT Show being like a vendor only, a retailer only type show, I think with the advent of internet and social media, like the proliferation of that, not advent, but I just think that you're not going to see those massive shows happening.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, and I think that uh, in talking with some of the folks who came to Texas Range Day, some of the guys who've been to Ohio Range Day or some of these other shows, what I gather from these guys is they'd rather spend 3 times as much money on a thing like Texas Range Day, Ohio Range Day, or whatever, than the 200,000 that they're going to spend going to SHOT Show because they get more out of it. And I think a lot of times you're
Right.
able to reach directly to the consumer through those avenues versus SHOT Show. You're just, look, I hate to say it, but you're just kind of there to jerk each other off. Oh, that's a great new product,
Yeah, I
phenomenal.
mean, like, at the end of the day, we all know that most of the business at SHOT Show happens not on the floor.
Right.
I think that
It's that center
biggest thing
bar.
that right. I think that the biggest thing that most people are missing about these shows are the, like, real social aspect, not social media aspect.
Right.
The fact that we're not seeing people that we know in the industry. I think that a lot of us look forward to that, and that's the biggest reason that so many of us want to attend those.
I agree.
Yes, business gets done, but the reality is, like, right now I'm in Pennsylvania, Jack is in Texas. We're doing a podcast. Like, the internet has made the fact that, like, we don't have to be together anymore to do things, and so
Yeah, in fairness, though, we did plan all of this through snail mail letters. I would write you a letter
yeah.
and be like,
It took
Noah.
us about 17 weeks.
It did. It did.
Yeah. And that's because one letter took about 7 weeks.
Right.
To actually.
Because I sent it via carrier pigeon.
Right.
And it got lost.
That's actually faster than the real postal card.
That is true. That is true.
Well, let's more reliable.
Okay, that's a good segue. Let's talk about products being sent through USPS. But even better, let's talk about new products. Let's talk about Wiseman Company. Let's talk about. Will you give us an exclusive? Will you tell us about new stuff coming out with Wiseman Company? What do you got coming out? When's it coming out? Tell us about it.
Just yesterday, finalized we are going to be working with Parachuter Gear, PSG. They are actually a Texas-based company.
Love it.
And they make some pretty cool nylon gear, and we are going to be carrying their product line called the Volk. It's VOLK. And you should be seeing those. We're going to pick up 3 colorways to begin with, and it's a placard for chest rigs or vests. And we're going to be carrying the frog skin, which is pretty cool color, the OD green, and the Afghan camo pattern, which is very cool. And we'll see how that goes, and we may pick up some more of that, and we're pretty excited to be working with them. They're a relatively small and new company, and we're excited that they reached out to us and that we could work it out. And we're excited, especially since this will probably, we know for a fact that it will work with some of the stuff that Chris Moon at Lunar Concepts is working on, which I don't have specific release dates, but if you've been watching the Wiseman Company Instagram page, Ben has been running some chest rigs and vests and things that Chris has been working on and designing, and so we're hoping, hopefully before 2022, we'll have those. It may be into next year. Right now, just like everyone, we're running into some issues with supply chains, with materials and things like that, but we're pretty excited about that. We're adding some new products. Chris did just release the pimps, a whole new line of pimps, which are it's called Pimp, but it's the pack, insert, munitions, and provisions, and it's a Velcro hook back for bags like Vertex and things, so that you can carry magazines and tools and things like that. They're fantastic. Have them in a bunch of different sizes. So yeah, so that's a pistol, a 2-slot pistol pin. And there's the loops on the end will carry
2-slot pistol pin. This is the greatest thing ever.
I actually use these in my bag for camera batteries. I carry all my camera batteries.
Oh, it's a good idea.
Yeah, and you can carry chem lights and multitasker twist, or the Kershaw TX tool, which we carry at wisemancompany.com.
And it's Velcro on the back, so it'll go straight into your Vertex bag.
Yeah, yep. It's a hook back, so any loop field, I actually have stuck them like on the fold up on the underside of my fold up seats in my truck.
Look at this, you got it right here.
Yeah, yep. So just in there, any of those loop fields, or in the back there where they have their rapid deployment section. Most of their bags have that.
Back here?
Yeah. Yep.
See, I got
all that.
Under Armour back there. Well, that's awesome, man. I'm excited about that. Anything called the Pimps, I'm into, so that's awesome. But I'm super.
We have single slot, 2-slot, and in pistol we have 3-slot.
Are you guys gonna do a big launch for that? Like, should we have a party? We're gonna have Wiseman Company show. It's gonna be like SHOT Show, but just Wiseman Company. So
correct.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you.
All 4 people that like us will be there.
Look. Well, there's 3 people watching this show, so now you got 7. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm going to Vegas no matter what in January. I've already bought airfare, hotel, everything. I'm going no matter what. So if you're going to SHOT Show and you've already bought your tickets and SHOT Show gets canceled, let me know, because I'm going to go no matter what, and we'll go hang out and we'll go shoot in the desert, and I'll rent like a Jeep or something, and we'll roll it a couple times, and I'll get all the insurance, and we'll just fucking leave it in the desert. Who gives a shit? Really appreciate you coming hanging out with us. I appreciate the insight on the guns.com thing. Very few people know the industry as well as you do. And if you're an industry person, you guys know Noah. If you don't know who Noah is because you're not an industry guy, but you just like firearms, I promise you it's worth a follow on Wiseman Company and his personal page. By the way, one thing we haven't even talked about is he's an incredible photographer. Next weekend, we are flying to Miami to film a big secret project, and we're actually flying Noah out there to be a still photographer for us, to do some behind the scenes stuff. The project is sponsored by, it's going to be amazing. The project's sponsored by Defender Armor, Rex Selenium, Cobalt Kinetics, Duramag. Justice.
Yeah,
Noah, thanks again, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. It was great being here.
Awesome. And we're going to do this again because you have a really dope setup.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right, man. Cool. We'll talk soon.
All right. Talk to you.
All right. So thanks again to Noah from Wiseman Company for joining us today on Intentional Discharge. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk with us. All the insight on the guns.com thing I thought was amazing. But most importantly, I'm really excited to see you in Vegas. Hopefully that happens. And hopefully we'll get to hang out and walk the floor like we have for so many years. I thought it was a great point that you made. A lot of us are so excited to go back to Vegas and to go back to SHOT Show because we're missing our friends, we're missing our colleagues from this industry, and I think it's incredibly important that as an industry we gather together once or twice or 3 times a year in the same place to keep the industry focused and pushing in the right direction and in the same direction. I think one of the worst things that we can do is become fragmented and everybody's kind of working for themselves and pushing in their own direction. I think it's incredibly important as a movement, as a 2A community, that we're always pushing in the same direction, or at least somewhat the same direction. So, Noah, thanks again for joining us. Guys, we're going to try and do this once a week. Download us on iTunes, subscribe on YouTube, and we'll see you guys next week.